The hospital where I worked only had 2 elevators. That's what every map said. That's what every employee knew. But on my 4th night shift, I watched the 3rd elevator open, and a patient stepped out who had died 6 hours earlier. I started working nights at St. Mercy Hospital after dropping out of college. Graveyard shifts paid more. Nobody wanted them. After 2 weeks, I understood why. The building changed after 2 a.m. Not metaphorically, physically. Hallways felt longer. Lights buzzed louder. Entire wings became silent for hours. Even the air smelled different, like wet dust and overheated wires. The older nurses never talked much during night shifts. They avoided eye contact after midnight, especially when the elevators dinged. The elevators were directly across from the nurses' station. 2 silver doors, one on the left, one on the right. That was it. But around 3:13 a.m., every single night, something strange happened. The lights above the elevators would flicker once. Then both elevators would stop moving. No calls, no sounds, no activity. Like the entire system froze. The first time I noticed it, I asked another nurse named Carla. She immediately stopped typing. "Don't look at them," she whispered. I laughed because I thought she was joking. She wasn't. "You'll get used to it," she said quietly. "Just don't look when the 3rd one opens." I remember staring at her. The 3rd what? But she never answered. 3 nights later, I found out myself. 3:13 a.m. The hallway lights dimmed. The elevator display numbers disappeared. Then I heard it. A ding. Not left, not right. Middle. Between the 2 elevators. At first, I thought exhaustion was messing with me. Then I saw it. A seam in the wall. Thin, vertical. Like hidden doors slowly separating. My stomach dropped. There had never been an elevator there before. The doors opened only halfway. Darkness inside. Not shadows, pure darkness. Like the lights physically couldn't exist inside it. Then someone stepped out. An old man wearing a hospital gown, barefoot, head tilted slightly downward. His hospital bracelet swung loosely from his wrist. He moved slowly, too slowly, not walking naturally, almost gliding. The thing I remember most was the smell. Rot, sweet and thick, like meat left in heat. He passed directly by the nurses' station. Nobody reacted. Not Carla, not security. Nobody even looked up, like they couldn't see him. But I could. And right before he turned the corner, he stopped, then slowly looked at me. I froze instantly. His eyes were wrong, cloudy white, but moving underneath, like something alive was crawling behind them. Then he smiled, not emotionally, mechanically, like he'd learned what smiling looked like from a picture. And then he whispered, "You looked." The hallway lights exploded. Every monitor at the station shut off instantly. Darkness swallowed the entire floor. People started yelling. Backup generators kicked in seconds later. When the lights returned, the hallway was empty. No old man, no smell, nothing. Carla grabbed my wrist so hard it hurt. "You made eye contact," she whispered. For the first time all night, she looked terrified. That morning, I searched patient records. I found him, room 214. Arthur Vale. Pronounced dead at 8:42 p.m., cardiac arrest. I thought maybe someone was messing with me, some sick hospital prank. Until the next night. 3:13 a.m. again. The lights flickered. This time, everybody immediately looked down, like trained animals. Nobody spoke. Then the third elevator dinged. I heard movement, slow footsteps, wet footsteps. Closer, closer. Something stopped beside me. I could smell mildew and rotting skin. Then a woman's voice whispered directly into my ear. "Please help me find my room." Every instinct screamed not to look. But I did, and I wish I hadn't. Her jaw was hanging too low, not broken, unhinged, like the muscles forgot how human faces worked. One eye pointed toward me, the other stared upward into nothing. Her hospital gown was soaked black down the front. Water dripped from her fingertips. Except it wasn't water. It was blood. Thick, dark, almost black. She smiled wider when she saw me reacting. "You can see us," she whispered. Then every elevator in the hallway opened at once. Dozens of people standing inside, motionless. Patients, doctors, children, all staring at me. Every single one dead. I knew some of them from hospital records. Others looked decades old. Some weren't fully human anymore. Skin hanging loose, limbs bent incorrectly, faces twitching in tiny, unnatural movements. Then all of them smiled together at the exact same moment. The lights died again. This time the generators didn't come back immediately. I heard footsteps everywhere, wet breathing, dragging sounds, whispers overlapping each other. "You looked. He looked. He can see. Take him downstairs." Something grabbed the back of my scrubs. I ran. I don't even remember deciding to move. I sprinted through the dark hallway while alarms started screaming throughout the building. And behind me, dozens of footsteps followed. Not running, walking, slow, confident, like they already knew I couldn't escape. I reached the stairwell and slammed the door shut. The noises stopped instantly. Complete silence. Then came 3 knocks from the other side. Slow, patient. Then a voice. Carla's voice. "Open the door!" I almost did. Then she said, "There's no third elevator." And I realized something horrible. Carla had never called it that before. Not once. I backed away slowly. Then her voice changed. Not suddenly, gradually, like multiple people speaking through the same throat. "Open the door." The metal door handle slowly began turning. I ran upstairs until sunrise. The next morning, administration told me Carla had been missing for 2 years, vanished during a night shift. Security footage only showed her walking into an elevator at 3:13 a.m. The middle elevator, the one that doesn't exist. I quit that same day. But sometimes, around 3:13 a.m., my apartment elevator dings. And when the doors open, there are 3 sets of doors now. Not 2. 3. And sometimes, the middle one is already waiting open for me. The hospital basement had 6 floors, but the security cameras only showed 5. I didn't notice it at first. Nobody does. Because if you work enough night shifts, your brain starts helping the hospital hide things from you. I worked overnight security at Blackthorn Medical Center. Huge building, almost empty after midnight. Most nights were routine. Drunk patients, visitors breaking rules, old alarms malfunctioning, easy money. Then one of the senior guards disappeared, His name was Dennis. Quiet guy, mid-50s. Worked there 11 years. One night, he simply stopped answering radio calls. Security reviewed the footage. They saw him enter the elevator at 2:41 a.m. Then nothing. No exit footage, no body, no trace. The weird part? The elevator log showed he went to floor 6. Except there was no floor 6. At least officially. The basement levels were labeled B1, B2, B3, B4, B5. That was it. Even the elevator buttons stopped at B5.
But after Dennis vanished, I started noticing things. Little things. Like sometimes the elevator would pause between B4 and B5, longer than normal. And during those pauses, the lights inside dimmed slightly, like the power was being redirected somewhere else. One night, I asked another guard named Morales about it. He immediately got irritated. "Don't joke about that floor." "I'm not joking." He stared at me for a second too long, then quietly said, "If the elevator stops by itself, don't get out." 3 nights later, it happened. 2:47 a.m. I was alone in the elevator carrying paperwork to storage. The elevator passed B3, then B4, then suddenly jerked violently. The lights flickered, and the display changed. B6. My stomach dropped instantly. There was no button for it, no alarm, no sound. Just silence as the elevator slowly descended. The doors opened. Dark hallway, concrete walls, no signs. No lights except dim red emergency strips along the floor. I should have stayed inside, but I noticed something impossible. Wheelchair tracks, fresh ones, leading out into the darkness. Then I heard crying, far away, a child crying. The elevator doors suddenly closed behind me. I spun around, pressed the call button repeatedly. Nothing. The elevator stayed shut. That's when the crying stopped. And I realized something worse. The hallway wasn't empty anymore. There were people standing along the walls. Patients, motionless, facing forward, like they were waiting. Most wore old hospital gowns. Some looked decades out of date. One woman still had dried blood around her scalp staples. A man near the far wall had no eyes, just dark, wet holes. None of them moved, but all of them were breathing. I could hear it, slow, uneven, wet. Then overhead speakers crackled alive. Night staff must remain on assigned level.
Every patient slowly turned toward me at the exact same time. I ran immediately. The red hallway lights barely illuminated anything. More corridors appeared every time I turned corners. Rooms with no numbers, operating theaters full of rusted equipment, stretchers stained dark brown. Then I found something that made my blood freeze. A nurse's station. Abandoned. Dust covering everything, except one computer screen still glowing softly. I walked closer. Security camera feeds. Dozens of them, showing the entire hospital. Every floor, every hallway, every elevator. Then I noticed one specific feed. The elevator I'd arrived in, still sitting open, except someone was now standing inside it. Dennis, the missing guard. He looked thinner, paler, his uniform soaked dark around the collar. He stared directly into the camera, then slowly lifted one finger, pointing behind me. I turned around.
Nothing there. When I looked back at the monitor, Dennis was closer. not physically possible closer, like the camera angle had changed. His face now filled most of the screen, eyes bloodshot, lips trembling. Then he mouthed something silently. 3 words. Don't let them. The feed cut black. Then every monitor in the station turned on simultaneously. Every screen showed me, standing there, from angles that shouldn't exist, behind walls, inside ceilings, from inside rooms I'd never entered, like the floor itself was watching me. Then movement appeared behind me on every screen. Dozens of patients approaching slowly. I couldn't hear footsteps, but the monitors showed them getting closer. Closer, closer. One screen showed something else emerging from a doorway behind them. Tall, too tall. Its head nearly scraped the ceiling. Its arms hung below its knees, and its face was stretched skin. No eyes, no mouth, just smooth, pale flesh twitching slightly. The patients all stopped walking when it appeared, like they were afraid of it too. Then the overhead speakers crackled again. Unauthorized personnel detected. The thing suddenly turned its head toward my direction. Even though it had no face, I knew it saw me. The lights died instantly. Complete darkness. Then came running. Not walking. Running from every direction. Patients screaming. Metal doors slamming, wheelchairs crashing into walls. And somewhere behind all of it, heavy footsteps. Slow, massive, closer every second. I sprinted blindly through the dark corridors. At one point, I passed an operating room. Inside, people were standing around a surgical table. Doctors, frozen motionless, all staring downward. Then one of them slowly lifted their head toward me. The skin around their mouth was stitched shut. Every single doctor turned simultaneously. Then they started moving toward the door. I finally saw elevator lights ahead. The doors were open. I ran inside and hammered the close button. The massive footsteps behind me accelerated. For the first time, I heard breathing. Deep, wet, animal breathing. Something huge emerged from the darkness just before the doors closed. I only saw part of it. Long arms, gray skin, human teeth covering where its face should have been. Too many teeth. The doors slammed shut inches before it reached me. The elevator shot upward violently. Floor numbers flashed rapidly. B5, B4, B3. Then normal hospital lighting returned. The doors opened. Morales stood outside waiting, like he already knew. He looked exhausted when he saw my face. "You got off," he whispered. I couldn't even speak. Then he quietly asked, "Did you see the patients? Or the thing that keeps them there?" I quit the next morning, but before leaving, I checked archived blueprints online. Original hospital construction plans from 1961. There was a 6th basement floor, psychiatric containment wing, closed after a fire killed 43 patients overnight. Officially, the floor was sealed permanently, but the final blueprint note said something disturbing. Elevator access cannot be disabled during active occupancy. Last week, I got curious. I checked Blackthorn's live security cameras online. Everything looked normal. 5 basement floors, just like always. But for 1 second, one hidden camera feed appeared. Label B6 East Hallway. And standing directly in front of the camera was Dennis. Still wearing the same security uniform, still staring into the lens, like he's waiting for the next night guard to arrive. During my first night shift as a hospital operator, they gave me one rule twice.
If room 208 calls, do not pick up. Not transfer it. Not put them on hold. Just don't answer. I thought it was some dark hospital joke. Then room 208 started calling every night. Even though the room had been empty for 8 years. The operator's office sat in the oldest wing of the hospital. Tiny room, no windows, rows of blinking phone lines. Most overnight calls were harmless, patients wanting water, nurses requesting transport, families asking for updates. Then 1:17 a.m. hit. Line 208 lit up. The older operator training me immediately froze. She muted her headset. Ignore it. The line kept blinking, over and over. Steady rhythm, like someone calmly pressing redial. I laughed nervously. What happens if you answer? She didn't smile. Instead, she quietly unplugged her headset.
That room shouldn't be able to call. The calls continued every night after that. 1:17 a.m. exactly. Always room 208. Always lasting exactly 1 minute, then stopping. Nobody ever explained why. The nurses avoided talking about it. One doctor actually walked away mid-conversation when I mentioned the room number. That alone should have warned me. But curiosity always wins eventually during night shifts, especially around dead silence and flickering fluorescent lights. One stormy night, the calls started early. 1:03 a.m. Line 208 blinking aggressively. Not steady anymore. Rapid. Desperate. I stared at it for almost 30 seconds. Then I answered. Silence. Soft static. Then breathing. Weak breathing. An old woman whispered, "Please, he's back." My chest tightened instantly. Who is this? No response. Only breathing. Then somewhere far through the line, I heard metal scraping slowly across tile floor. Then footsteps. Heavy. Dragging slightly. The woman suddenly whispered faster. "He wears our faces now." The line crackled violently. Then another voice interrupted. A man's voice. Deep, distorted, too close to the receiver. "Is someone there?" The old woman began crying quietly. Then she screamed, "Don't let him hear you!" The line disconnected. Every phone in the operator room immediately started ringing at once. Not random ringing. Perfect synchronization. Every line blinking together. I stood up so fast my chair fell over. Then all ringing stopped simultaneously. Complete silence. 1 second later, line 208 lit up again. This time, caller ID changed. Instead of room 208, it displayed my full name. The office lights dimmed. A cold draft moved through the room. Then the intercom activated by itself. Static filled the speakers. Then came my own voice. "Can you hear me?" I froze completely. It sounded identical. Every tone, every breath. Then my voice from the speaker whispered, "He's learning." The lights shut off. Emergency backup lights flooded the hallway outside red. I grabbed my flashlight and stepped out of the operator office. Huge mistake. The hallway was empty at first. Then I noticed every patient room door was slightly open, just enough for darkness inside. And from several rooms, people were peeking out. Patients, watching silently. None pressing call buttons, none speaking, just staring. Then one patient whispered, It knows your voice now.
Every room door slowly opened wider at the same time. Inside each dark room, someone stood behind the patients. Tall figures, perfectly still, not moving. But wrong somehow, like people shaped from bad memory. Then every hallway phone began ringing simultaneously, including the wall phone directly beside me. Caller ID. I backed away slowly.
The phone stopped ringing. Then, from inside room 214 nearby, my own voice called softly, "Help me." I nearly answered instinctively. Then I remembered something horrifying. I was alone in the hallway. The hospital intercom crackled overhead. "Code Gray, unauthorized personnel detected." The lights flickered violently, and suddenly every patient slammed their doors shut simultaneously. Boom, boom, boom. The hallway went silent, except for one thing. Footsteps. Slow footsteps approaching from the far end of the corridor. A figure emerged under the red emergency lights, wearing hospital scrubs. My scrubs. Its face looked exactly like mine. Almost. The smile was too wide. The eyes blinked at different times, and the skin around its jaw twitched constantly, like something underneath was moving. It lifted a phone receiver slowly to its ear, then spoke in my voice. "You answered." I ran. The thing behind me didn't chase immediately. It walked, calmly, like it already belonged there more than I did. Every hallway suddenly looked identical, phones ringing everywhere, voicemails playing by themselves, some with voices crying, others begging, some pretending to be nurses I recognized. Then I heard the operator room phone answer itself over the intercom. "Room 208, transfer complete." The entire hospital went dark. I hid inside a supply closet for almost 2 hours. The mimic version of me kept walking past the door, sometimes speaking in my mother's voice, sometimes in the old woman's voice, sometimes perfectly copying me whispering for help. At one point it stopped directly outside the closet, then softly said, "You left me alone in 208. Something scratched the door slowly from the outside. Not fingernails. Teeth. Sunrise finally came. Morning staff found me shaking inside the closet. Administration refused to discuss room 208. But an old janitor eventually told me the truth. 8 years earlier, a patient in room 208 murdered 3 nurses during a psychotic episode. Before security reached the room, he removed his own face with surgical tools. Nobody knows why. But after his death, strange calls started coming from the room every night. Calls from dead staff, calls from empty rooms, calls from people still alive. Sometimes, calls from people before they disappear. I quit immediately. Changed cities, changed jobs, changed my number. Didn't matter. Because sometimes, at exactly 1:17 a.m., my phone still rings. Unknown number. And when I accidentally answered last month, I heard my own voice whisper, "Transfer complete."